What you'll need is a block or two, and that's about it. So grab your props and meet me on the mat when you're ready. Find yourself a comfortable seat. One of your blocks comes underneath the shin on our working leg. So if you see here, I've got enough room at the end of my block for my ankle and my toes to do their thing. From here, pull your toes to your shin and then grab on with your fingertips to the shin. We want shin bone to the ceiling the entire time. Really try and squeeze this small little space at the top of the ankle as much as possible. On your next exhale, start to draw a big circle with your big toe, pointing towards the inside of the body. Now I want to try and see the inside edge of my foot if possible. Now remember, shin to the ceiling, and then keep sweeping your toes down. We're coming down to the bottom of the circle. Now squeeze the back of the ankle, and now this is going to feel really small and maybe a little difficult. We want to imagine we can draw this circle now to the outside edge of our block. It's going to feel a lot smaller. So this circle might look kind of like a flat line on this side. So we point the big toe out towards the outside edge. We squeeze on the pinky edge and then draw the toes all the way back up when we're in that starting position. So it's half a rep. Let's go all the way back. So this time we squeeze that pinky edge of the ankle. We start to push the toe down and away. We sweep down, pointing the toes to the bottom of the circle, big squeeze on the bottom, and then all the way back up. This probably feels like the easy part of the circle, back to center. And then let's do 2 more reps. So we're moving slow, like we're moving through mud. Think about transferring that squeeze. So the squeeze is at the top. Now you're going to start to feel it through the inside edge of the ankle as the toe sweeps to the left and then points down. You feel it on the back of the ankle. Now this is where it might be hard to connect to, but we're trying to grab the outside edge of the ankle as we pull the toes all the way back up. Big squeeze, and now it's time to go all the way back. So we're keeping that internal tension, that intensity, as we point the toes down. So if we're moving through mud, as we sweep the toe towards the midline, and then draw it up, squeezing the top of the ankle. And that's rep 2. Let's do 1 more. Again, really focus on shin to ceiling. As we move through, toes point in. We drag it to the bottom of the circle. And we drag it up to the outside edge. Notice if the shin wants to go, the ankle wants to go. Squeeze it up, toes to shin. Remember, keep that tension, that internal intensity. How hard do you want to make this for yourself? How true do you want to try and make your circle? As few compensations as possible. So you sweep to the inside and then draw it up and let it go. Now let's warm up the other ankle. And they might feel different from each other. That's okay. Again, on the chopping block, ankle forwards enough that we have room to point our toes. Now from here, toes to shin. Really squeeze through the top. And we're going to move to the inside first, the easy part. So I'm trying to look for the ball of my foot, if there was a sticker on it. Then point the toes, sweeping to the bottom. Start to lift through that pinky toe edge, toes towards the ceiling. Big squeeze. And then we go back. Again, trying to reach through that left side, pointing at the bottom. We're squeezing the bottom of the ankle, and then now on the inside edge of the ankle, as we pull the toes to the shin. Maybe a little foot cramp along the way. That's 1 rep, so we do 2 more. Can you increase the intensity on this round? Finding that squeeze. That idea of moving so slow with control. We lift up through that pinky edge. We squeeze toes to the shin. And we go back. Who knew that ankle work could be so hard? And then all the way back up. What I love about teaching this in in-person classes is you see people's faces. Make all the shapes as they focus on their foot. Now let's finish this last rep. So you also might be doing that too at home, and that's okay. If your face is making shapes, you're doing it right. That's the focus face. Let's bring it up through the left-hand side, toes to shin. Big squeeze. And we're on that last bit of this rep, making it the hardest part yet. Squeezing through the bottom of the ankle, the inside of the ankle, the top of the ankle, toes to shin, and then let it go. You can shake it out. Now we have to really train that space, back the ankle, top of the ankle, that idea of the toes to shin. That's the focus. So grab your block, sit yourself down in this like collapsed crouch. Now what we're going to do is on the front leg, it's going to be bent. This is our working leg. We have this nice hole, this gap between our butt cheek and the ground. We're going to place a block or two there. So we have something to settle into so we can really focus on the stretch and sensation in that front leg. So take these next few moments just to figure out what's going to work best for you here. One block, two block, and another option, if a lot of bend for the knee doesn't feel really great for the supporting leg, you can also take this in a low lunge. And this back leg can come up as far as it needs to, so you can really send the knees all the way through the toes. So pick your base. No rules, whatever is going to get you the best stretch on that front ankle. And now, whenever you find that spot, we're just gonna sit in that stretch and hang out. We're gonna stay heavy in the heel, spread the toes, and you're just looking for sensation on the back of the ankle. You might find that by drifting that knee forwards. And it's also totally okay if you feel nothing at all. We'll be here for 15 more seconds. Now you have the option to stay in the stretch as I talk through what's coming next, or you have the option to take a break. We're going to get into our pails and our rails. So basically our isometrics in this position. On your screen, it's gonna look like I'm not moving, but trust me, on the inside, you're gonna feel everything. So the first part of the movement is trying to drive your toes into the ground as if you could point them if the ground wasn't there. And then the next part of the movement is trying to pull ourselves deeper into this position. So you're gonna get heavy in the heel, drive your knee through your toes, and trying to bring the top of your foot to your shin and cramp up that top of your ankle, and then we'll release. So we're gonna do that for 3 rounds, ramping up the intensity and doing a good hold. Now, if you need to take a break at any point along the way, take a break, skip around, and you can always join us whenever you're ready. So let's set up for round 1. Find your stretch, or find your stretch position. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, start to push your foot into the ground, 50%. Heel stays on the mat, layer it on for 60, 70, 80, 90. Now push as hard as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale. On your exhale, heavy in the heel, try and pull toes to shin, 50%. See if you can layer it on 60, 70, 80, 90, and squeeze as hard as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go, back off just a little bit. Now our next round, we're gonna wrap it up a little bit faster. We're gonna hold for 10. Again, option to hold for 5 or a little bit more, a little bit less than 10 if you need to, or take a break. We set up in our position. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, push the toes into the ground, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, max effort, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, heavy in the heel. We try and pull ourselves deeper into the stretch, 50, 60, 70, 80, squeeze 10% more, 90 or 100 for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, squeeze 10% more, 3, 2, 1, and release it out. You can shake out the ankle. We'll do one more round here. This time I want you to find as much squeeze as you can, as fast as you can. So no ramping up, you're going instantly into 100%. We set up in our position, take an inhale, exhale, push into the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze 10% more, 3, 2, 1, take an inhale, exhale, heel into the mat, really squeeze the front of the ankle, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it out. Now because this ankle is feeling fresh, we're going straight into our passive range liftoffs, so then we also know exactly what we're doing on the other side when we get there. The option to bring your block under your hands or bring another block with you. Set yourself up now in a low lunge position or a little bit of a crouch. Now start to rock your weight forwards. Again, we find a little bit of stretch in the back of the ankle. Now in this position, pull the toes to your shin to toes. We want to lock this down, and on an exhale, start to rock your hips back, keeping that same angle that you found in that crouch, and then rock yourself forwards. So set yourself up. Let's do 5 reps together. So you rock forwards, toes to shin, exhale, pull yourself back. That's 5. Come on, forwards. Lock it down, pull back. 4. Forwards, squeeze. 3. Forwards, squeeze. For 2. Last 1. Maybe we challenge it a little bit more. We try and lock down that angle and we pull that support away for 1 and let it go. Now come on down, back onto the ground. This block comes back underneath the ankle, back on the chopping block. Lots of heat in this ankle, lots of focus. We're gonna finish off this side and then move to the next. Now we get to lock it all in again with our cars. So that focus that we found of transferring that squeeze, I really want you to find that squeeze at the top of the ankle because that's what we just trained the heck out of. So we find toes to shin, squeezing through the top, and we'll rotate. Toes point towards the midline of the body. Find that squeeze on the inside. We transfer that squeeze to the back. This almost feels like a break at this point. And now we try and bring it up through the outside edge. Shin towards the ceiling. And again, squeeze at the top as tight as you can. And now keep that squeeze. Transfer it away from you towards the outside edge. That squeeze now starts to come to the bottom. And then the inside edge. Now we're coming all the way back up to the top. So we find that squeeze nice and hard because we just trained that space. We're telling our nervous system, hey, we can use it. We have it. Let me keep it. And then let's go all the way back. Keeping like a constant tension for these last reps. Squeeze it up, toes to shin. Oh, we're shaking. And we're gonna go out towards the left side. Point the toes down. Squeeze on the inside. You got it. Last squeeze at the top. And release. Whew. Now let's set ourselves up for the other ankle. Again, pails and rails, lift-offs, cars, and then your ankles are done for the day. You can move on to something else. Set yourself up in your lunge, if that feels better, then your crouch, your choice. Work yourself into your stretch. And here we're gonna hold for a full minute. Getting heavy into the heel. Whole foot's on the ground. If for some reason that heel does start to lift, you can place like a book underneath, a rolled up towel, like a little hand towel works really well. So you have something that something to push down into. Also giving this ankle to be the space to be different from the other one if it needs to be. We're halfway through our hold. And if for some reason that stretch is faded, you can search for that next little bit of sensation for this last 10 seconds. All right, and we'll start to find our first round of pails. So I want you to push through the ball of the foot, whole foot's on the ground, start to ramp it up 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, max effort hold for only 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale. Exhale, having the heel toes to shin. Let's go. By 50%, 60, 70, 80. Max effort. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, give it a shake. Again, option to ramp it up a little bit, all the way. Hold for 5 seconds if 10 feels like too much, or skip around. This round, we're going for 10. We're going to wrap it up a little bit faster. We sit into the heel. On your exhale, toes into the ground. Let's go 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90. Max effort hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Push a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. Exhale, heel into the ground. Toes to shin. Let's go. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Give it a squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Relax it out. And then now we go as fast as we can, as hard as we can. 10-second hold. Set yourself up. Exhale, push down to the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. Exhale, heel into the mat. Find that squeeze through the front. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeeze 10% more. 3, 2, 1. Release it out. Now we keep picking on this ankle as we come into those lift-offs. Only 5 more reps. We've got like 2 minutes of work left in this whole video. So we find our stretch. We give ourselves the space to rock backwards. Option for blocks underneath pants. Heel to the ground, toes to shin. Exhale, pull back. So that's 5. If you find that the foot drops a little bit too much, don't go as far. Lock it down. Pull it back for 4. Challenging that range of motion. Pull it back. 3. For 2. And let's go this last one. Squeeze toes to shin as hard as you can. Rock it back. And 1. Let it go. Plop yourself down. Bring your chopping block back. And we're back to those ankle cars. And then you can carry on. So these ones are going to be challenging. We're going to keep that constant tension in between reps. Grab on to the shin, toes to the shin. We squeeze through the top here as tight as possible. And then exhale. Start to bring the toes towards the midline. We're squeezing the inside of the ankle. Draw the toes to the bottom of the circle. Squeeze the bottom of the ankle. We squeeze that outside edge. It's really tiny. As we bring the toes back up to the shin, and we squeeze through the top of the ankle, that space we trained. So again, trying to keep that constant tension. We reach out towards the outside edge. We point the toes down. Big squeeze through the back. Squeeze up through the side. Up through the top. We're moving through mud the entire time. And then no relief. We go right back into that second rep. We point the toes out. We squeeze through the bottom. We squeeze through the outside edge. And then up. For myself, this knee wants to bend. I'm going to try and keep it straight. Point the toes down, point the toes to the side, squeeze. Now let's finish it off, one last rep. The heat is building, that's okay. Point your toes to the bottom, pull them up through that outside edge, toe, shin to the ceiling, toes to the shin, all the way back. Squeeze from the bottom, the inside edge, that top edge, it's the last time we touch this for the day. We squeeze, and then let it go. Now you can shake out the ankles, take whatever relief you need, go for a walk it off. That's all for your ankles today. If you need more mobility, you can find all these videos on our channel from the head all the way down to the toes.